tonight.
Any more uncertainty makes it difficult to do business.
How tension between Alberta and Saskatchewan is affecting the border city. And the Lloydminster Fire Department is making changes to better serve the city.
This is Newcap News with Brian Lentz.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. After an interprovincial war, the Saskatchewan government has called off their controversial license plate debate that banned Alberta registered vehicles from working on government construction sites. As Michaela Henschel reports, the ongoing tension between the two provinces is causing frustration here in the border city.
I think any time that the two provinces don't see eye to eye, it puts us in a unique challenge and a spot that we don't like to be in as a border city.
The Saskatchewan government had until Monday to lift the plate ban or face millions in fines. The decision coming as a relief to many in Lloydminster that had been in limbo since the ban took effect in December.
Uncertainty. I mean, we've had a lot of uncertainty in the last 2 years, so any more uncertainty makes it difficult to do business. We're just happy that we know what's to expect going forward and that we can move on from it.
The debate continues with the neighboring provinces. It's speculated Premier Brad Wall brought on the ban in response to Alberta's brewery tax, something Bexon hopes can be resolved so that other areas don't suffer.
Some of the comments that were made is this has to kind of do with the beer tax, and that as long as that gets sorted out, that it shouldn't go any further. So hopefully that's the situation. Thing that they do differently from Alberta to Saskatchewan really impacts Lloydminster, and it impacts us first.
Both sides are set to meet on January 31st, but they have yet to agree on a location, many hoping it will be held here in the border city.
Hope that they still come to Lloydminster for a meeting. I think it would be great for them to come down here and see our little border city and the challenges that we do face in Lloydminster.
It's important to showcase and to let ministers see our city directly and how things affect it. It's one thing to talk about it, and they hear about it from caucus members and from members of the opposition in the various legislatures, but to actually experience and see it here firsthand is what we found the best experience we've had letting ministers know our situation.
Michaela Henschel, Newcap News.
And City Council has received an update on a new staffing model proposed for the fire department. It addresses a need for more full-time members and help give the city a long-term future in staffing. Josh Ryan reports.
The constant turnover of volunteer firefighters is something Chief Jordan Newton believes is addressed in a new modernized staff model. It adds 4 full-time members to bring sustainability to the city's fire department.
So looking at modernizing, we hope to be able to better retain our volunteers as well as move forward. This would reduce response times from 8 minutes to 4 minutes, as well as increase overall service to our residents.
Some questions that were thrown to the department by City Council included where should the turnover rate of 30% drop to, and what are some of the reasons for said rate.
The leading cause of firefighter turnover was burnout. In council, it was directed that we maybe look at some internal goals as far as if we were to move forward with this model.
Part of the burnout comes from the disparity between staffing here compared to municipalities of similar size.
I think it's something that council's really going to be considering very hard, because there was some good information provided and answered some questions that I certainly had, and I believe some of the other council members had.
The budget approved for the model costs near $150,000, but there are some savings through less overtime and improved operations.
Paging out volunteers to come in, as well as attending practices, duty days, all the other things that volunteer firefighters have to do would go down, because this new model allows firefighters to pick and choose their volunteer time.
And while the model is near approval, Albert says there's always a possibility of future change.
Is it the final solution? It may not be, because as the city continues to grow, we'll have to make adjustments accordingly.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
The Lloydminster Bobcats and the Lloydminster Public School Division are teaming up tomorrow for the first ever Hockey Hooky Day. Our Ryan Craig reports.
For many kids, Wednesday afternoon will be just another school day. But for some lucky students in Lloydminster, that is not the case.
all of our students in grades or from grades 3 to 6 have the opportunity to attend the game tomorrow afternoon at the Civic Centre.
The first ever Hockey Hooky Day here in Lloydminster will take place right here tomorrow afternoon at the Centennial Civic Centre. And these chairs right behind me are going to be filled to capacity with a lot of little but excited fans.
They've all got noisemakers, all of these kids, and so it's going to be loud and probably the biggest crowd that some of our players have ever played in front of. And so this is just a great opportunity to have the stands absolutely full and just have a lot of fun playing.
The Bobcats will not only get an estimated 1,400 kids out to this game, but each school involved gets 4 Bobcat players to focus their cheering on.
The Bobcats kind of assigned certain players to different schools, and you know, the schools have the opportunity to you know, come up with some signs and you know, just to kind of have a little cheering section for each of the players out there.
With all the excitement coming from both sides of the game, it's no wonder that there are talks of doing it again next year.
We are definitely planning to make this an annual thing, so next year we might change it up, give different schools a chance to come, different grades, and we're just testing the waters here, and it looks like it's going to be a huge success, so we're really excited.
Obviously this is the first time that we've done it in Lloyd. It is something that's gone on in other communities. So it's it is pretty amazing, you know, just to have, for the kids that have never been to a hockey game, it's an awesome atmosphere, and it's an awesome event.
Ryan Craig, Newcap News.
Well, Peanut is a gorgeous blue-eyed dog looking for love and his forever home, while Razor is a cat with a huge personality who would likely do well in a home where he is the sole feline. Here's John from the SPCA with this week's Pet Project.
Not only is Razor a big fellow, but he also has a big personality. Razor is the first cat to greet you in the morning with a big meow and a tap on your shoulder. Once you spend some time with him, he'll show you just how much he appreciates it by purring his heart out. Razor has such a huge personality and loves his one-on-one attention so much that he really doesn't like to share. Therefore, he not only needs a home where he is the only cat, but he also prefers one with older children. Razor is such an outgoing and friendly cat that will fill your house with tons of love and hours of entertainment. Be sure to stop by the SPCA and meet this wonderful boy today. The first thing you'll notice about Peanut is her gorgeous blue eyes, but it'll be her personality that will make the lasting impression. Peanut is such a sweet and lovable dog that just wants to please. Peanut loves the simple things in life, like going for a nice long walk in the country or playing fetch. As long as she's by your side, Peanut is in heaven. Peanut is looking for the perfect family that will give her unconditional love, but also keep her mind active. She's such a smart girl that learns quickly. The sky is the limit for Peanut. This girl is definitely not to be missed, so stop by the SPCA and meet this gorgeous girl today.
This is Newcap Sports.
The Rustlers women's volleyball team has been the model of success, while the men's team is having another tough year. The Hockey Huskies from Fort McMurray are in the exact opposite situation, and this past weekend the two schools played a tandem of games in Lloydminster. As Lance Phillips shows us, Friday's matches finished exactly as you would expect.
Another weekend, another dominant victory, this time 3-0 over the Hockey Huskies. But Friday's win wasn't like the others. Nope, this one was much different.
To be honest, that might have been the best match that I've ever been a part of in terms of the way that my team played. Yeah, we executed our systems really well, which led to our offense scoring at a high efficiency, and just being in sync the whole time. We were in system the majority of the game. And
we worked really hard this week, and we executed the whole game, and that's kind of a first for us. We usually start off pretty slow, and we played hard from the very beginning and till the end, and you can tell by the scores. So.
Yeah, it's really exciting when we can get everyone into the game and get everyone to contribute in a positive way, and I think that happened tonight, and it is really exciting as a team when, you know, everyone can do something and everyone's excited, and yeah, it was good.
At 16-0, the women's team has been at the top of the CCAA's national rankings since week 1, and given how good the team is, being consistent week to week can still be a challenge.
It's about motivating ourselves. Like Austin said, he can't can't motivate us. We need to do it ourselves. So I think we do a really good job of doing that every day in practice, and then it transfers into games when you practice it every day. So
it's just, you know, understanding what you did tonight, how you did it, and then making sure that we're trying to get to that level every time that we're playing from here on out.
The men's side played with the ACAC North's best team for 2 of 3 sets, ultimately losing 3-1. The Rustlers won set 3 at 25-22, a set that demonstrated exactly what this team is capable of.
If we play our volleyball and we limit our mistakes, good things are going to happen. We dug really well. We played really good defense. Our first contact was really good, and then we were able to find ways to score. And then we were aggressive on serve and put them under some pressure, and that was the difference.
We were in that for 85% of the set, and then that 15%, 3 or 4 points, and that's the difference. You know, set 3 was the set we put together a whole set, and it's nice to see that we're that close, but at the same time, we don't want to be that close. We want to be that little bit better. We want to be beating teams.
A major struggle for the men's side has been mental focus and maintaining high morale throughout a match, an area of the team's game that made some progress forward Friday night.
We did all right. It's something that we can always improve on, and it showed in the last set. Towards the back half of it, we lost it. And it shows how ugly it can be when we lose it.
Yeah, for the most part, I think it was pretty good. I still think at points when we were down, it took a timeout for us to kind of come in and collect ourselves and go back out there. Like, we shouldn't need that. It needs to come from the group after every point, and we shouldn't have any type of dip in our momentum or in our attitude or in our effort level.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
And here's Lance Phillips and Josh Ryan to break down the implications of the weekend's matches for both Rustlers volleyball squads.
Thank you very much. Josh, a couple more dominant wins by the Rustlers volleyball team. What really impressed you with these 2 weekend wins over Keano?
Well, mostly their depth and consistency. I think it was a real steady performance, not a lot of errors in the first match, and they got to use their entire roster for the most part, other than a couple of girls that are redshirting. Tawny Dupuis doing a great job coming off the bench for them. Only really one mishap in the third set, otherwise a very almost perfect weekend for them.
I mean, head coach Austin Dyer made a point of saying that that's the best volleyball he's seen out of any team he's coached at this college, which is really saying something. Team is now 16-0. Is there anybody that can realistically beat this team in the North?
I don't think there is. I think the Kings Eagles do have a shot if the Rustlers have a real off night, but it would take quite the off night, and it would take a monster performance from the Kings left sides to be able to compete with them. The only team I see as a danger at this point is in the South, and that's Briarcrest.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
On the men's side, they competed with Keano. They were close on numerous sets.
Yep.
Came up short 3-1 on Friday and 3-0 on Saturday.
Yeah.
What needs to happen, 9 straight losses, for this team to turn it around?
It sounds like a broken record at this point. Every time I've talked about them and every time you and Chris have talked about them, it's just consistency of execution. Following the game plan to a T and taking care of ball control. There's just too many hitting errors and too many defensive errors each and every possession. They're not a big enough team to overpower teams. They have to out-execute teams. They just have not done that yet.
Taylor Dyer coached this team since 2012-2013, but the losing's been happening before that. They haven't made the postseason in 9 years. Is it critical that they make it this year?
It depends on how you view it. If there's too many years apart of losing and winning, then yes, I think this is a critical year, though it's very late in the schedule now, only 3 wins to date so far, and they really would have to go quite a run to make it. At the same time, there are improvements on this roster, some good character guys, a lot of young talent, just raw talent. So I do think that going forward after this season, it is imperative that there's a playoff appearance.
The good news for the men's Rustlers team is 6 of their next 8 opponents are below 500, beginning with a pair of matches in Grand Prairie this coming weekend. However, it's not going to be easy. They have not won on the road since January of 2016.
Well, sports and music often go hand in hand, whether it's a morning run, working out, or mentally psyching yourself up before a game. In this week's Beyond the Boards, Eric Friesen gives us a closer look into how the Bobcats use music as a motivator.
There are more unique roles on a hockey team than forward, defense, and goal. Rookie Zach Ziegler took over a specific role from a departed veteran that he never expected to handle.
Well, it was initially Zach Webb, and he got traded, so I sit right by the stereo, so I just kind of grabbed the aux cord one day, and the rest is history, I guess.
While Ziegler knows his first responsibility is to contribute on the ice, he feels the pressure to perform as the music man too.
They didn't all agree with the music I was playing, but I think they all like it quite a bit now.
Knowing what music to play at what time is critical to Ziegler's off-ice role.
When I first get to the rink, I start playing some music, and then after coach comes in, I play a different type of music, and then right before we go on the ice, I put some rock and roll on and get the boys going.
While many players like the camaraderie that comes with listening to music as a team, others prefer to throw on a pair of headphones.
Everyone likes their own thing to get ready for a game, but sometimes if I have a routine and listen to the same songs, I can kind of get my head in the game and be on the right page for the game.
Sotal's taste in music is not restricted to one genre. In fact, some of his favorite songs couldn't be more different.
I like Burn It to the Ground. That's one of my go-tos for right before the game, and then Money Trees is another song I like to kind of get to the rink, get in my zone with.
Eric Friesen, Newcap Sports.